According to the security agreement, all U.S. forces will be out of Iraq by the end of 2011. But this doesn't mean that our relationship with Iraq will end.
Bombing after bombing and dozens of dead American soldiers and Iraqi civilians has made April one of the deadliest months in Iraq since the spring of 2008. The Pentagon's top military commander of multinational forces in Iraq, General Raymond Odierno, gave a sobering assessment of the situation in the war-torn country, indicating the military is on schedule to draw down troops from Iraq's major cities by the end of June.
We still have a major operation going inside of Mosul, with all forces assisting and helping out. We expect that to end here within about 30 to 45 days, and then there'll be a decision to be made. I think if you ask the Prime Minister today, I think he would say that we will be out of the cities by the end of the 30th of June, and it is his decision.
General Odierno said until all combat troops leave the country, the residual forces will be training and equipping Iraq's security forces, assisting with regional conflict, and overseeing economic development.
We will maintain a force of about 35 to 50,000 to ensure that we can achieve our new missions while providing sufficient force protection and still target and still be able to conduct counterterrorism missions.
Defense analysts say, although it's important to take into account the surge in violence in Iraq, the latest death tolls and bombings will not detour President Obama's plans to remove most, but not all troops from Iraq.
Naturally, they're trying to train the Iraqi military forces to do that. Their concern is they want to make sure they're training an Iraqi national army, an Iraqi national police. They don't want to train certain groups, because then you might get into factional infighting and so on. They want to have a unified national government.
General Odierno mentioned the U.S. military will continue to have defense liaisons inside of joint security stations long after the 2011 deadline to ensure Iraq's military establishment is stable. However, this move to keep military personnel inside of Iraq could be seen as an ongoing occupation.
I think there will be Iraqis who want all the Americans gone, and if there's a residual force, that will make them uncomfortable. It might cause problems with some of the neighboring countries.
With the war in Iraq overshadowed by the escalation of troops in Afghanistan and military activities and appropriations in Pakistan, critics say the situation in Iraq remains fragile and reversible. However, it's not critics the U.S. military or the Obama administration is concerned with. It's whether the war in Iraq can come to a close without any major developments to keep the U.S. military in Iraq past the SOFA deadline. But as the war drags on, so will the human cost of war. Since the U.S. invaded Iraq 6 years ago, the American death toll has reached 4,285 U.S. soldiers, while the Iraqi civilian death toll has surged close to 1.5 million Iraqis. Jahan Hafiz, Press TV, Washington.